President Trump is not having the greatest day following several weeks of damning testimony, culminating with about 3 out of 4 legal experts calling in his impeachment, as well as numerous Trump administration officials who were asked. Nancy Pelosi has announced the drafting of articles of impeachment in the House. Trump and Republicans are apparently not taking it very well. For example, there's somebody in my comment section threatening World War III right now. So that shows just about how well people are taking it. So now, prior to the announcement, which was expected, by the way, Trump first demanded a speedy resolution to the impeachment process. He said, if you're going to impeach me, do it now, fast, so we can have a fair trial in the Senate. I can guarantee that he would have absolutely a fair trial in the Senate. That's the whole point. He adds, so that our country can get back to business. We will have Schiff, the Bidens, Pelosi, and many more testify, and we'll reveal for the first time how corrupt our system really is. We already know our system is deeply corrupt. In fact, Donald Trump, the system was way corrupt, actually incredibly corrupt, even before Donald Trump. The thing about Donald Trump that was different than most presidents is that he was actually open about his own corruption. Ironically. So now what's funny about this is, wait, what do Schiff, Pelosi, and the others, Biden, have to do with Donald Trump asking for favors, personal favors, from a foreign government to help him in his reelection? That makes sense. Doesn't make sense. But okay, anyway. Now, following the announcement, he also took to Twitter with some rage tweets and said the do-nothing radical left Democrats have just announced that they are going to seek to impeach me over nothing. I didn't realize that crimes were just nothing, which is funny, calling them do-nothing Democrats when the House has literally passed about 400 bills that Mitch McConnell will not allow through the Senate, and that even if they do get through the Senate, would likely be vetoed by President Trump. Again, ironic. Now, he said they already gave up on the ridiculous Mueller stuff, 10 counts of obstruction. So now they hang their hats on 2 totally not appropriate, phone calls with the Ukrainian president. Now, this will mean that the beyond important and seldom used act of impeachment will be used routinely to attack future presidents. Now, again, that's not true. But what's funny is, of course, Republicans have been talking about impeaching. Republicans have already impeached Bill Clinton, and that didn't work out well for him. And then had threatened to impeach Obama and threatened to impeach Hillary Clinton. So they always talk about this. And yet, how dare the Democrats actually try to impeach the president for doing criminal stuff? How dare they? I can't believe it. This is not what our founders had in mind, Trump continued. The good thing is that Republicans have never been more united. We will win. Well, Trump actually might be right about that last part, at least as far as Republicans being united. Again, here you have a lot of Republicans, Republican voters, for example, 83% of them have a favorable view of President Trump. And so, look, man, they like him no matter what he does. He's right. He could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, and then no one would. In fact, they'd be like, that guy deserved it. And in fact, they get bonus points if it were a minority. He would. So, look, but here's the thing, right? It mainly is just Republicans that are with him. The rest of the country, about 70%, want to see impeachment. 50% so far want to see him impeached and removed. So you can see most of America is now with the Republicans. And yet, I'm not alone, by the way. That's kind of amazing. I've never seen anything like this, where you have, again, a majority of the country, except for Republicans, that all agree on the one thing. So it's really crazy. So now what's funny is that the arguments that Republicans have been using, and there's a lot of different arguments, and it's just kind of all over the place, right? For one, the argument is impeachment happening too fast. That's too fast. In fact, Jonathan Turley made that argument yesterday, where he said, well, we should slow this process down, really do more investigations, and, not impeach for about 2 years, and basically until after the election. Yeah, too fast. Donald Trump, as you just heard from the tweet, said, not fast enough. Just do it now. Just do it fast. Let's get it over with. Now, what's funny is they also complained about how long the Mueller investigation took. It's also fun. It's too slow. Oh, it's too fast. Now it's too slow. Then not fast enough. Make up your mind. What is it? So now what's fun is I'm going to go to some social media posts, right? Where they point this stuff out and had some responses to it. So I'm going to read those. Karen Hildebrand Lau says, Republicans argued the Mueller investigation took too long. Now they're arguing the impeachment inquiry is happening too fast. Never have they provided any evidence to prove Trump is innocent. Not even during Jonathan Turley's, his speech, I guess, his testimony. He didn't present evidence that Trump was innocent. He just said, we don't have enough evidence, which means we've got to slow the investigation down until after the election. Interesting. Now, Jay Railing says, you committed an obvious crime, replying to, of course, Donald Trump. It's remarkable that some kiss-ups will stand in Congress and deny basic reality, but that's not a win for you or them. Corruption isn't a win. You'll be remembered in history as worse than Nixon. People in the future will compare scandals to you. So that's really interesting. And I've never thought about it this way. You're right, that people in the future will look back on Donald Trump, even Republicans that currently support Trump, and I can guarantee it. Current Republicans that do support Trump will look back and say, Trump, I never supported that guy. He was a clown. Idiot. I feel bad for the people that supported that guy. No, I support real conservatives. Donald Trump is not a conservative. Let's just make that very, very clear. Okay. I know conservatives. You can actually have discussions with conservatives. And yes, they'll disagree with you on issues like, for example, taxes and spending, things like that. Today's Republican Party is so completely off the rails. And later on, just like they were with George W. Bush, for example, they're going to be embarrassed that they supported them. Just watch. I can guarantee it. Guaranteed. Okay. So now Angela Belcamino says, Nancy Pelosi continues to own you and Americans are here for it. And look, knowing how not in favor of Nancy Pelosi I am, and you guys know this, it's kind of tough to be owned by Nancy Pelosi with how weak and her and Chuck Schumer have been. But she's right. Totally owned by Nancy. Now, help me, Sharpie, you're my only hope, said Rex Tillerson was right. Right about what? Probably when he called Trump an effing moron. Vieira Massini says, I would say forget impeachment, go to remove him, 25th. That would save Americans their tax money and Congress time. Now, for those of you not familiar, the 25th Amendment is designed to allow the cabinet, the president's cabinet, to remove a president when they are unfit for office. Now, that point is important because I've talked about the 25th before and how it is necessary, how Trump is unfit. I believe that there are serious mental issues going on with President Trump and would explain a lot of what's going on. One of his outs could say, hey, look, I'm mentally unfit. I didn't know what I was doing. And so you can't actually punish me after the fact when I get out of office. And that's kind of his get out of jail free card, claiming mental illness. I don't know if that'll happen, but there's somebody, Roger Stone, that I think floated that idea. And of course, Roger Stone can't use it himself because Roger Stone is probably going to prison. So now, again, part of the 25th Amendment involves a cabinet that is willing to remove the president for having obvious mental decline. Unfortunately, what we have in the cabinet now are people that are basically wedded to Donald Trump, who will not vote to remove him at all, full of yes men. And so that's the problem here. Yes, as Jesus points out, Trump removed everyone from the cabinet who was anywhere near to fit for office. Absolutely. And so it's too late now for the 25th Amendment. Impeachment is basically the only choice. Again, because he is so incredibly unfit for office. Jay Railing also adds, you directly and definitely met the definition of breaking the law against requesting election interference from a foreign power, specifically pointing out what he actually did. And what's more, Trump said in June that he would do it. And in July, the July 25th call, he did it. He said he'd break the law, and he did it. Actions have consequences. And I agree. So look, nobody's above the law here, not even the president. Still, I am very concerned that Senate Republicans will not care, that they will still actively defend the president. And so I'm hoping the electorate, when that happens, when impeachment is unsuccessful, when Trump is not removed from office, despite clear evidence being presented of his crimes and his poor conduct, unbecoming of the office of presidency, let's hope that the electorate does not take that as an exoneration. I don't think so. I hope that they will take it as more evidence of the corruption that has eaten out the heart of the Republican Party. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.